Greetings once again, my friends, and happy Thursday, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII, where we're going to take on the story, or at least the story that's told here, of one of the most beloved characters in the expanded Final Fantasy VII universe. It's time for us to go into the story, somewhat, of Zack Fair. So, this cutscene that you're seeing right now basically is after the Nibelheim Reactor that we saw in Cloud's subconscious. Hey, this is your food. So it looks like they recovered, or at least Hojo might have recovered them, or Shinra in general. As we kind of know from Lucrezia's vision, this is Hojo's lab, at least for the most part. Without gassed, anyway. Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. Very good, Zack. Now, you'll notice in the tube next to him was Cloud. So they were both recovered. Looks like they're okay, except Cloud is not so much. And the reason, as actually told in later games, is this is basically when Cloud got injected with Mako, or, you know, he went through the soldier procedure, is the way that it's told in a later game called Crisis Core, which goes over the events of Zack, and also kind of these events, but this is kind of a rough description, so it's okay. Oh, here. Put on this. It smells a little, though. Don't complain. You look pretty good with that. Well. Meanwhile. Looks like they're hitching a ride somewhere. Yo, old guy! We have Midgar yet? So that's where they're going. Shut up. You're lucky I even gave you a ride. Might as well diversify the voices a little bit. What are you going to do once we get to Midgar? I don't know. Looks like Cloud's still recovering, so he's not able to talk that much. I know what I'm going to do. I got a place I can crash for a while. No, wait, the mother lives there too. No, don't stay at Eris's house. There's too many flowers. Guess that's out. And still nothing for Cloud. Yep, gotta change my plans. No matter what I do, I need some money first. Hey, you want to start a business? What could we do, though? Hey, Cloud. Think there's anything I'd be good at? Well, kicking people's butt. Hey, old guy. What do you think I'd be good at? What are you yapping about? You're still young, ain't you? Young folks should try everything. You gotta pay your dues while you're young. Go out and look for what you really want. I don't know why he went Irish there for a second. Try everything. That's easy for him to say. And for those who are a little confused, Zack is the other soldier that went with Sephiroth. We've kind of learned that in a previous part. And so now you're kind of getting a look into his personality. Hey! Of course! I got a lot of brains and skill that other guys don't. That settles it. I'm gonna become a mercenary. Yeah, thanks, Pops. Hey, didn't you even hear a word I said there, youngin'? Listen, I'm gonna become a mercenary, and that's that. Boring stuff, dangerous stuff, anything for money. I'm gonna be rich. So, Cloud, what are you gonna do? No, wait, you got it all wrong, you whippersnapper. Just kidding. I won't leave you hanging like that. We're friends, right? Mercenaries, Cloud. That's what you and me are gonna be. Understand, Cloud? And this is actually leading up into the ending events of Crisis Core, as this is how Cloud got to Midgar at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. So as you can see, the events are very closely tied. And it looks like somebody followed Zack. Now this is told in a lot more epic fashion in Crisis Core, hence why I'm debating on playing the game out for you guys. But yeah, so unfortunately, this is also where Zack ends. Just as he got Cloud to Midgar. What do you want us to do with him, sir? Forget it. Just leave him. So they basically leave Cloud for dead. What they don't realize is he's not quite. And he's actually pretty close to at least something of a recovery. This is also where Cloud got the Buster Sword. It was originally owned by Zack, who was given to by another guy. But again, we'll play Crisis Core at some point, and you guys will be able to see it. And for those who are kind of wondering why I played him out all optimistic, you have to play Crisis Core to get it. He's a very optimistic character. Hence why, yeah, he would approach things like, yeah, I'm going to be a mercenary. And this lands him right at Midgar, and that's where we saw the memory of Tifa's, where she came across him and told him about the job. So that's a little Easter egg that you can come across if you want to know a little bit more about Zack and be able to see kind of his personality, along with be able to learn what happened to Cloud. Like, we saw Cloud get impaled. We saw Cloud get stabbed, and thankfully he threw Sephiroth into the live stream, which is where we eventually found out where he ended up. But pretty much Cloud was left for dead. This is to tell you, no, it wasn't. And in fact, this is also where he kind of gets his soldier-esque characteristics, is he got showered with Mako, like any other soldier. And it also tells you how he got his trademark outfit instead of the original Shinra garb he was wearing. It's actually Zack's gear. Zack just basically gave him a hand-me-down. So like I said, a little bit of an Easter egg that I thought you guys might enjoy to be able to take on. But happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. For us, it's been very, very busy. And I guess I ought to take care of a quick check-in with people because we have been getting questions. In case you haven't seen on social media, my daughter Melody was born. We are fine. A lot of people were asking, if everybody's okay. We are all fine. We are all recovering. Melody is tiny. For a lot of people wanted me to kind of give my viewpoint on Melody. She is the cutest thing ever, but she is tiny. In fact, even though I've been told otherwise by the doctors, I pretty much have no problem saying that, to me, at least in my perception, my second daughter is smaller than my first daughter was. But that's just me. But yeah, everybody's okay, and thanks to all for the well wishes and everything like that we got, in case they didn't say it on the podcast. We really do appreciate it. But yeah, we've been mostly recovering in the past week, and that's why people kind of heard from us here and there, but kind of not. Like, we shared some baby pictures, and that was about it. So if you guys want to see those baby pictures, they're up on my Twitter, as well as, the Twitter's probably the best place to be able to get it. I haven't put them up on the Facebook page. But what the heck are we doing back in Midgar? Back into the game. So, that's an interesting little bug. That actually sparked a rumor for the longest time, is if you came here in Disc 2, there was a rumor going around, at least in my circle of friends, because of the ghost of Eris that you actually see there, that you could get Eris back in the game. It's not true. It's been debunked numerous times. But supposedly, if you were going to go embark on this false endeavor, you would start at the church. And the church would lead you kind of to your next objective. But I want to again emphasize, it wasn't true. I mean, for crying out loud, this is how outlandish some of the rumors got, at least with my circle of friends, is you could procure a Sephiroth clone that would fight for you, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we go into the game's code, Sephiroth is stupid overpowered, and he's meant to be that way. So it doesn't make sense that you get a playable character like that. One of my friends actually convinced me that you could go back to Cosmo Canyon with a cure-all, and you could cure Red's father, Seto, and get him as a party member. That's not true. I kind of wish it was. That's a really sad moment as far as I'm concerned in this game, but it's not true. Oh, what was it? You could get Eris back. And was there a rumor about that? No, that one was debunked. There was a rumor like online, I guess, where you could get Zack as a party member. No. I do remember there was a Game Shark code where you could sub out Cloud's model for the Zack model. It wouldn't be in combat, but you could swap out the world map model, but it broke the game horribly. Couldn't save. Had to play through this game all in one sitting. Doesn't really work out. Now, people might wonder, why are we coming back to Midgar? Well, like I said in the previous part, we're kind of on a final weapon and final limit hunt. And if you come back to this item shop after leaving Midgar, you can use this console really quick and get Tifa's final weapon, the Premium Heart. So we'll go ahead and equip it. It's not the greatest weapon ever, but really the only reason I use it at this point is to get those extra 2 materia slots. That's really helpful. But as far as like final weapons, yeah, hers is kind of weak. That's okay, because she's kind of become my designated healer as far as this playthrough is concerned, so this is going to work out just fine. But also, while you're here, and you're going to have to ignore my pursuing of this, I thought for some reason I could still get access to the Shinra building, and I didn't have to further the story to get access. No, you actually can't. You have more of a temporary access as of Disc 2. I believe Disc 3, there's something that opens up that you can get access to it if you didn't get it before. But you want to go back to the Shinra building because Kate Sith's final weapon is there. We're not going to worry about that right now. But as you guys can see, I kind of magic cut it because I want to make sure how that works. There is another thing that you can get, a very awesome accessory that helps out with stealing. So for example, if you were having problems getting the nuts and the necessary herbs you needed for chocobos and everything like that, this is a very helpful item to have. You don't talk to this main guy because he's the shopkeep, but if you talk to the guy that you got batteries from, oh, so you're back. I got something good for you. Why don't you buy it? Probably just found it lying around somewhere, right? I'll admit that I found it, but you may never be able to get another one like it again. How about 129,000 gil? Sure, because I like doling out that kind of money. And you can get the Sneak Glove, which improves steal rate. That's amazing, especially if you're trying to get specific items off of monsters. In fact, I will be using this a lot later on as I do kind of the final grinding session to try and steal elixirs off of enemies. Mainly because there's actually a really handy monster that you could come across that is really great for leveling materia. But in order to level it, it's basically, if people remember from Final Fantasy V, it's that jar where you had to give it an elixir. It's back, and you have to give it an elixir, but you have a little bit of a cheat here because of the mine materia. You can just imitate it, and that way you're not using too many elixirs, but you can also find some monsters that have a chance, when stolen from, to give you one. So you can kind of hedge your bets and get a little bit more elixirs. I do recommend strongly, do not use them, use them sparingly, only use one, try and mime it from there on in. If you can't make that work, then I would not, it's almost like I wouldn't recommend that you go any further with it, but yeah, it's kind of broken if you can't keep the mime going. Because I think you have to pull it off like 3 times. And so that becomes a bit of an issue. But that's pretty much all we can get from Midgar at this point. So, this is where we actually are going to head out and try to resume the story. We've got a lot of the final weapons and a lot of the final limit breaks, but a few of them are not going to be accessible to us until the next disc. which is fine because we're actually near the tail end of Disc 2. Because we just barely started up kind of the quest that starts the end of Disc 2 as we sent, or as we went and grabbed Bugenhagen. And now we actually need to take him to the City of the Ancients. I was going to say that right. The City of the Ancients, see if maybe he can help us find another solution regarding Eris. Not to go to the church to see if he can resurrect her. That's not what that is. Sorry, guys. Yes, you can Game Shark it and overpower the crap out of Eris, but no, you cannot bring her back. I think I even got a question asking me that in the comments once. Is like, can you... Are the rumors true? Can you bring Eris back? No, you cannot. It's not meant to be. Stop worrying about it. If you want to go see more Eris, go play Kingdom Hearts. That's the way it works, or go see Advent Children. Way it goes. All right, so now that we've taken care of this, it's time for us to head to the City of the Ancients to finally drop off Bugenhagen and see if we can find a solution to our little problem, because Meteor's still on the way. But Eris knew something we didn't, and the secret lies here. I told you guys way back when we'd be returning here. Unfortunately, you can't pay your respects to Eris. She's not on the map. They basically make it so that, like, that pool that Cloud dropped her in was pretty deep. So you can't go back and visit her or anything like that. And ignore me randomly running around. For some reason, I thought that Bugenhagen had to show up out here. Otherwise, I didn't have him. And no, I have him. All you got to do is go to the room that kind of triggers him. And we're going to the left, finally. So what's over here? Makes you wonder. And again, I really love the music of this place. Very alien. And, oh, this is... Yes, exactly. Excuse me. Are you getting something? Give me a moment. Okay. So I guess we gotta go meet him over on that platform. Thankfully, we are close by. But first, if you guys notice off in the distance, there is a chest. So we want to try and grab that and see at least what's in it. And then we'll come and talk to Bugenhagen. But yeah, once again, I just want to thank everybody for all the well wishes you guys gave. We really did appreciate it. The knowledge of the ancients swimming around here is telling me one thing. The planet is in a crisis. Well, duh, we knew that already. A crisis beyond human power or endless time. It says when the time comes, we must search for holy. Holy? Holy, the ultimate white magic. Perhaps that might stand against Meteor. Perhaps our last hope to save the planet from Meteor. If a soul seeking holy reaches the planet, it will appear. Okay. Meteor, weapon, everything will disappear. Perhaps even ourselves. Even us? It is up to the planet to decide. What is best for the planet? What is bad for the planet? All that is bad will disappear. That is all. I wonder which we humans are. That's kind of ominous. Search for holy. How do we do it? Speak to the planet. Get the white materia. This will bond the planet to humans. Okay. Then speak to the planet. If our wish reaches the planet, the white materia will begin to glow a pale green. Pale green, you say? This is the end. Eris had the white materia. But when Eris died, it fell from the altar. If you guys remember the bead, that was the white materia. That's why this is the end. Look at this. Huh? Ancient's writing. Can you read it? I can't even make it out. This is no time for jokes, Bugenhagen. I'm not an ancient. I can't read this thing. I may be old, but my eyes aren't completely bad yet. Look closely below the writing. There's something written in chalk. Even sunlight can't reach. Key. Somebody was here translating. It was probably written by a scientist who's been here. He probably used all of his energy to make out these 2 words. Key? To what? I don't know, but it probably has something to do with our riddle. The riddle? Then it must have something to do with Eris. So this note points to where the key is. Probably. Use these words as clues and go find the key. I'll continue to figure out the ancient's writing. Place even sunlight won't reach is where the key is, right? When you find the key, or when you can't go any further, come back here. Maybe I'll understand more from the writing and get some new information for you. Okay, and so this sets us on our next goal, which is to find this key that they're mentioning. And in fact, the funniest part is, it's actually pretty easy to figure out what it's meaning. You have to go to a place where even sunlight doesn't reach, and that's where the key is. But in case you're still confused, or if you decided to take a break from the game, you can come back to Bugenhagen, and he'll give you the hints again. I think he gives you a little bit more of a hint by kind of telling you like how you should think about it, but here I am. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for you guys. Even sunlight won't reach is referring to underwater. This is basically another one of those plot devices to get us to use the submarine. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a great way to be able to utilize the new vehicle, you know, and get people out of the airship. But it's a little bit vague into, okay, if it's even where sunlight won't reach, that could mean anything. For a rough translation of it, and I think even he hints at this later, it's basically kind of reaching a place where sunlight won't reach on this continent. So you have to find an underwater cave that is beneath this northern continent, and that's where the Key of the Ancients is. So we're going to go ahead and go grab the submarine and see if we can actually come across that. But that's actually going to go ahead and do it for this week. When we get back next week, I'm going to fulfill a promise that I did a while ago regarding some video footage to help explain things like weapon, as we're going to go back to Icicle Inn to view the documentation and video records of Professor Gast. Believe it or not, he was situated here, and you guys will find out what he knew about all of these prospects next time.